Identical twins that own pets, what was your pet's reaction when they saw your twin? My mom has cats and I don't think they can tell my sister and I apart. Also of note, I don't think my 3-year-old nephew can tell my sister and I apart. I think he just believes he has one very attentive aunt. Honestly, their reaction isn't that notable. Pretty sure the differences in our sense are distinguishable enough for them to not freak out about two identical-looking people. That or my dog is just thoroughly unimpressed by my twin lol. My cat thinks we're the same person. She used to get visibly confused when we were in the same room together but has now basically figured out that we're different people who just look the same. I don't have a twin, but my sister and I look and sound pretty similar. She gave me her cat several years ago and I'm 99% sure he didn't even register that he got a new owner. Even though I lived with 3 other people at the time, he started following me around and sleeping on my bed day one without paying any mind to anyone else. She's only visited the cat a few times since, but he always acts super confused any time it happens, like he can't tell which of us is his human. My twin sister and I grew up with pet goats. None of them ever mixed us up. We had certain goats that liked one of us better than the other and could always tell which one was which when they came up for petting. My sister went off to work across the country for a year while I stayed on the farm, and the goat that loved her best always came up to me like she used to do for my sister. But I think that she knew we both missed my sister and wanted to comfort me rather than miss us up, because once my sister came home she didn't do that as much. I'm an identical twin and I've never thought of this haha. Now I wonder if my dogs have ever gotten confused and I just didn't notice it. One thing I noticed is they will beg from her way more often than they beg from me. I wonder if they know I won't give them scraps, human food, but they think maybe she will. Well, I was a baby so I don't remember personally, but my parents loved telling the story about our dog running from one crying baby in a crib to the other. Back and forth all while looking really confused. I guess we would cry in turns and not together, so he wasn't sure if there was one or two of us for the longest time. My kitty isn't the smartest. Like some people, she just thought, oh, there's 2 of them, and went about her business person shrugging. Identical twin here. My dog has never acted freaked out to see my sister and same with her dog to see me. But, her dog stayed with me for a couple of weeks once when my sister was moving. About a week after I had brought him to her new place I stopped by to say hi. He just about knocked me over because he was so happy to see me, and my sister was there too. It was like he got extra attached to me when he had stayed with me. He didn't keep greeting me like that, just that one time. My grandfather had an identical twin who lived out of state who came to his funeral. At the house after, all of my grandfather's chihuahuas followed his twin around the house. I'm not a twin, but a similar story. I was going to meet my sister, but I got to get house before she did. I've got a key so I let myself in to wait for her. She has 2 dogs. Trigger was a rescue and had only been with my sister for a few months at this point. I had met him a few times, but he was still a little shy with me. I walked in and started petting them both and I was a little surprised how excited Trigger was to see me. Then suddenly, he backed away from me and started barking. He wouldn't let me touch him. I'm pretty sure he thought I was my sister at first, then realized I wasn't and freaked out. My sister came home right after. Trigger is still a little wary of me, like I might still be an imposter or something. My dog can clearly tell when it's not me. But when I'm not there my brother can act as a temporary replacement. He's a Velcro dog and has a hierarchy of people he attaches to. Yes, this is the sort of question I want to see on Reddit. Not a twin, but have a pair of friends who are. My dog got so confused last time they were over. He had been put in the yard when one twin came in, and after being let in had of course run to her for loves and attention. Then the twin sister came in. 99% sure I smelt burnt toast from his 2 brain cells frying. He was absolutely flabbergasted. I became their second go-to choice. They always did chase after new peeps so figured they don't have issues separating us. But sometimes when I return of a long trip, they don't figure out it's me unless my brother comes to the scene. Seeing that excitement glow is a treasure I always cherish. Since meeting my twin my goldfish has never looked at me the same. Still trying to build back trust in our relationship. My sister's cat becomes noticeably confused and slightly distressed when I come to visit haha. My dog passed away last year, but he was always so excited to see my identical twin sister. I would always tell her that he favored her over me. He obviously knew that we were different people and had no apparent confusion about who was who. But kids, though. My sister and I both have kids, and to some degree they all did this, but especially her 1-year-old just stares at me with a super what the fuck look on her face. Babies definitely know who is and is not mom, but are like, why does that lady look so much like her? When my dog first met my sisters, were triplets, he didn't really seem to have a different reaction than meeting anyone else. When I'm gone, and leave him with my parents, and my sisters visit their house, he gets so excited to see them until he smells them, and realizes that they aren't me. One of my good friends in high school had an identical twin. A lot of people couldn't tell them apart, but I always thought my friend's brother had sleepy eyes, like he had just woken up. One day I went to go pick up my friend for a school function early in the morning. I thought his brother answered the door and asked if Rich was up. He looked at me funny and said, "I guess you were serious about that sleepy eyes thing." It was the one and only time that I didn't recognize my friend. He couldn't care less. Didn't even notice the difference. Just continued swimming in his bowl. Don't have a twin, but my dad has a brother who looks identical with the exception of facial hair. When my dad shaved, he looked a lot like his twin brother, who is also my uncle. When he came to visit us, our dog bit my dad, mistaking him for a stranger, and greeted my uncle instead. My cat hated my sister. She was a normally skittish around other people cat anyway, but mostly that meant she'd hide until they were gone. She actively went after my sister. Based on replies, seems the consensus is, dogs can usually tell, cats often can't, or don't care, show that they can tell. Twin here, never had pets as children. My parents didn't like the idea of having to clean up after them, understandable, but my twin's missus has a dog, and the first time she met me she was chilling with my bro, and since it's likely we smell the same as well as looking the same, she became really concerned that there were two of us and didn't and still doesn't trust me fully. Her reactions ranged from staring, growling and barking at me every time I entered the room. My bird wouldn't do anything. He knew who was who and would say our names when we walked past. Damn, this is a great question. Have a dog AD. He hates men, especially new ones. My best friend lived with me for a year. Never really had a problem liking him besides the initial day. His twin walked in the room and he ran up like, "Hey." He stopped after getting to his feet and looked at my friend. He did a literal double take, then started barking ferociously at the twin. He got over it pretty quickly once he saw we liked him, which is different from most people, I guess probably pheromones. Seems cats trust their eyesight while dogs trust their nose. My best friend dated a twin. Well, one day they thought it would be funny to switch girlfriends. My friend knew right away and called, and we laughed about it because he tried to kiss her. It was hilarious. Mentioned it to the other girlfriend the next morning. She had no idea. Poor girl. Not so hilarious. And yes, they broke up. Tears of joy rushed face vomiting. I've pet sit my twin's dog several times. Her dog loves me and is always super excited to see me, but she goes nuts when my sister comes to pick her up. She absolutely knows which of us is her human. Didn't care. One imprinted on my brother, Chihuahua, the other one just lies down with whoever sleeping. Ooh waits eagerly for twins to show up, wonder if it'll be like the baby seeing his daddy's twin brother. I am an identical twin. My cat will jump in my twin's lap. And not mine. She only sees her a few times a year. My twin hates cats. My dogs definitely know the difference, but they really like my twin and want to get their attention, more than other family members or friends. When my pet duck saw my brother Hugh too, he thought it was me. Jimbo was astonished. When I saw the humans, I thought I was dreaming. 2 humans. That's twice the loves. Then the puppies walked in, and they looked the same. At first I was confused, but my nose has never failed me. I could smell the difference on them. 4 humans. I'm a lucky dog. My food time is coming up, gotta go. My boyfriend has a twin brother. They both came to my parents' place when I still lived at home, and his brother came to the door first. The dog was super excited to see my boyfriend, until he realized it wasn't my boyfriend when he got a couple feet away, and started to growl. Pretty sure he thought my brother-in-law was a body snatcher or something. I was so close to being able to share a story here, but we're fraternal twins. Sad face. Whenever my cat sees both of us in the same room, he jumps backwards and sprints out the cat flap. I am not a twin, but my sisters are identical twins and they are 5 years old. My mum recently adopted 2 cats, who are mirror image twins. It's very cute when they are each playing with one of the cats each. Identical twin here, we each have puppies. Neither of them have been confused. I really think the scent is what helps them tell the difference. Not a twin, but my sister and I have almost identical voices. The first time she was visiting after I got my slightly timid German Shepherd puppy, my sister called her to the kitchen to have a treat. Puppy comes running and upon realizing it wasn't me, she immediately backtracked and has not trusted her since then. And #X200B. It's been a year, and she is visiting with her new husband. Dog will hide behind her husband and peer out to make sure, imposter mom, is not near. C. 333 Davis. My dog loves people. She didn't notice anything. Just, oh, a new person. Not gonna lie, it hurt when I came home from vacation and my dog, who spent that time with my twin, wasn't extra excited to see me when I got home lol. When my brother, identical twins who also sound very alike, isn't at home and his cat hears me, she gets excited. She'll run down the hall to say hi with high-pitched mews, but sees me instead of her human. She gets visibly upset, gets very quiet, and slowly walks away. Meanwhile my cat doesn't care, as long as one of us gives her a treat or a head scratch. Not a twin, but my dog can't tell who I am when I get out of the shower. Or come home from work. Or change clothes. I might just have a really dumb dog, but it leads me to believe that he wouldn't behave differently if there were twins. My late dog Trey met my twin when she came to visit and didn't really have a reaction till bedtime. He usually followed me up for bedtime, and when she went to bed he followed her, and me and my partner were really confused. Then in a few minutes he came down and looked around so damn confused until he saw me and got super happy. It happens. My boyfriend and his brother are identical twins. The brother has a 1-year-old baby and she furrows her brows when she sees both of them together. Almost like she looks angry lol.